Welcome to today's explainer. So let's just get right into it. We're looking at a massive shift happening in digital publishing right now. If you've ever tried to scale up digital content, things like low content books, puzzle series, or printables, you've probably hit the AI wall. You sit down completely fired up to use a generic chatbot to build this amazing empire, and instead, you just end up incredibly frustrated. Today, we're going to explore exactly how the most successful creators are completely ditching those frustrating generic prompts and moving over to specialized AI pipelines. Right off the bat, we have to ask the multi-million-dollar question. Why is it that when you ask an AI to help you build out a simple series of products, it almost always ends up in a messy, disjointed disaster? I mean, you usually get one really great idea, but the second you try to replicate it, the whole thing just completely falls apart. It leads to massive burnout, and frankly, you just end up with a catalog of disconnected products that readers scroll right past. It's pure chaos trying to do this the hard way. You know the vibe. Sticky notes absolutely everywhere, broken layouts, confusing API configurations, and you're just constantly reprompting the AI trying to piece together a single struggling product. It's overwhelming, it's messy, and honestly, it is way harder than it needs to be. Section 1, the generic AI problem. To really get why the new systems work, we first have to understand the root of the pain. Here's the core issue. Generic AI tools were built to answer one question at a time. They were literally never designed to hold an entire complex publishing roadmap in their memory. So when you try to force standard AI to generate a cohesive series, you inevitably end up juggling completely disconnected premises. It feels like your books were written by 10 different people. If you're doing mysteries, you get illogical clues that contradict themselves. You get repetitive titles because, well, the AI kind of runs out of ideas by book 4. Plus, you're dealing with wildly inconsistent art styles and generic layouts. It is a guaranteed recipe for hours of manual fixing. And here is why this matters so much for your bottom line. If you're stuck relying on generic prompts, you usually just give up and publish a single standalone book. But a single book has to fight tooth and nail for visibility, and to a reader, it feels pretty disposable. Compare that to a cohesive 10-book series. A series cross-sells naturally. When a reader finishes book 1, book 2 is right there waiting for them. It builds a lasting brand. That is the massive marketplace advantage you completely miss out on when your workflow breaks down. Section 2, Niche AI to the rescue. Let's talk about the solution, purpose-built pipelines. The trick is to stop asking a generic chatbot to just give you an idea, and instead shift to structured production. You transition away from that messy, overwhelming, unguided prompting, and you move into a highly structured, strategic case board. You literally go from scattered, random ideas to a focused, sequential plan that covers your overarching series, your book titles, your logic, and your marketplace branding, all in one place. Section 3, Building a Mystery Series. Let's look at how a 10-book blueprint actually comes together. A perfect example of this in action is the Murder Mystery Puzzle Series Factory GPT. The really crucial point here is the structure. It doesn't just ask what you want to write. It walks you through 3 distinct engines. First up, the series planner takes your single theme and builds a 10-book roadmap. Second, the clue logic engine builds out your suspects, motives, and fair play clues. And third, the KDP branding builder handles your keywords and listing angles. By breaking the process into these specific engines, the AI doesn't drift, it doesn't repeat itself, and it doesn't completely contradict its own logic halfway through your series. The sheer volume and quality you get out of a pipeline like this is incredible. You wind up with a cohesive, branded 10-book mystery puzzle series. That's 10 distinct, thrilling cases, all generated from one overarching theme, fully ready to be handed off to a designer. And they actually look and read like they belong together because they were systematically planned together. Think about how hard it is to scale puzzle difficulty across a series without repeating the same trick twice. Well, this system uses a consistency matrix to track everything. For instance, in book 1, you might have a classic locked room deduction in a library. But by the time you hit book 9, the system has scaled a complexity up to planted evidence and a frame-up in a vault. It absolutely ensures your readers get a fresh, unique puzzle every single time. But honestly, the real magic happens in the internal logic. The tool systematically generates suspect tables, mapping out motives, alibis, and hidden truths. It makes sure the puzzles are actually solvable and fair. It maps the exact flow, like moving from a locked door to a missing crown to a specific ink stain on a cuff, so you aren't left with frustrating plot holes that ruin the whole experience for the reader.
Section 4, Creating Kids Printables, because this shift is definitely not just for puzzle books. The idea that systems beat prompts applies perfectly to low-content kids' printables, too. If you've ever tried to generate cute children's charts using a standard image generator, you already know it's a total nightmare of mixed art styles and bizarre formatting. But with a specialized system, instead of drafting prompt after prompt and getting weird, messy text back, you utilize hundreds of ready-to-use, perfectly formatted prompts that are specifically engineered just for kids' charts. When you use a system, the final outputs are incredibly highly polished and structured. You can generate a mealtime routine chart and then immediately roll out a bedtime routine chart. And they actually share a totally cohesive visual style. They look like they belong to the exact same brand. And let me tell you, that is nearly impossible to achieve if you are just blindly typing prompts into a generic image generator. So how does it actually do it? It uses a super straightforward 4-step guided pipeline. Step 1, choose your printable type. Step 2, add your title and steps. Step 3, pick a fun theme, colors, and icons. And step 4, the system instantly generates a custom, flawless AI prompt that will actually yield the cohesive results you need. It literally removes all the guesswork from the process. Section 5, Systems Beat the Prompt. Let's bring all of this together. Looking at these two totally different case studies, the overarching truth for digital creators is crystal clear. Systems absolutely win. By using a specialized pipeline, you're compressing upwards of 40 hours of manual, frustrating work into a single session. A system maintains structural memory, so it actually remembers book 1 when it's helping you generate book 10. It outputs genuinely sellable KDP assets, and most importantly, it lets you build ongoing, scalable brands instead of just throwing isolated random ideas at the wall and hoping something sticks. Which brings us to, honestly, my absolute favorite takeaway from the source material today. Keep this in mind. You are not in the puzzle book business. You are in the series business. And that goes for whatever niche you happen to be in. Readers, and the algorithms that serve them, want cohesive, reliable brands. They want a format they can fall in love with and return to again and again. So I'm going to leave you with this final provocative thought to chew on today. Are you still out there trying to force a generic chatbot to build your specialized publishing empire? It really might be time to fundamentally reevaluate your strategy, ditch the hard way, and embrace the power of AI factory systems. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I hope this sparks some amazing